Hey guys, welcome back to Deer Corner. First campfire of the year. Sitting out here, enjoying a fire up here at the cabin. But it's nice dark, but it's got a full moon to it. And very, very relaxing to be able to sit up here at the campfire. I couldn't wait for this moment. Be able to sit out here, have a nice little fire going. Got a nice wind. And things up here, up at the cabin, especially here in the mountain area, there's no explanation. There are things that happen. I don't believe in Bigfoot, Sasquatch, but there are things up here that happen, and I have no answer for them. That's one thing about camping, and when you're camping, don't let your imagination get away from you. If you hear something or a noise or a movement, a crash in the woods, don't let your imagination get away from you. And I learned that a long, long time ago. Because you can let your imagination up here get away from you. And it could cause more trouble than what it's worth. But sitting here at the campfire, waited all winter for this one fire. To sit here and have a cup of coffee. It's a little windy. But here, the wind's always blowing. I always have a breeze up here. One reason why I never need an air conditioner. All I gotta do is open the windows. But then again, being up here, you're away from everybody. You're by yourself. You can let your imagination get away from you, and that you don't want to do. But there are things I can't explain that's happened up here. And my grandson and my son's up here, and we were talking about it earlier. And have I ever gotten scared up here? And I honestly say no. I've never been scared because I'd never allowed something to get to where I'm worried about it. But there's one episode that happened up here a couple of years back, and it's just about like tonight. It's a full moon tonight. First campfire on a full moon. And it's been several years ago, 3 years ago. And it was a nice bright night like it is now. And about 9 o'clock at night, I decided I'm going to go to a deer stand, which is about 200, 250 yards to the right of me. And it's right at the base of a creek. And the coyotes, they'll run up and down the creek. They'll go up one side and down the other to catch whatever's in the creek. And well, I thought that night I'm going to go down there and take the rifle and sit in there and maybe I'll get a coyote. Now I got a couple coyotes that way throughout the years, sitting in that same stand and shoot a coyote, but I'd say 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. I decided to come out and come back up here, and I gathered my gear together and started down, got down out of the stand and started walking up here, and I heard something behind me. It was behind me and to the right, and I figured, well, maybe I walked up on a raccoon or something. But it stayed behind me for a little while up through the trail. And then it went downhill to me. And I'm going, well, maybe it's a raccoon or... And it started getting almost right straight to the right of me. But it was about 30 yards down to the right. So I can hear it going, I'm walking, and it's going along with me. And I stopped, and about a half a second to a second, it stopped. And I just sat there thinking about it. Didn't see nothing. No, I wasn't scared. I had my rifle. I had my Swiss Army knife. And I walked a little bit more, moved up, maybe walked another 50 yards. And I can hear it when I started walking. In a little bit, it started walking with me. And letting your imagination get away from you. Now, it stayed about 30, 35 yards from me, and I can hear it. And it was downhill, but I've been in the woods enough to know that if it's a predator, it sure wouldn't be downhill from me. I can run downhill faster than I can run uphill. So if it was a predator, it'd be to the left of me, uphill, to where it's going to run downhill. So I sat there and I thought about it and walked on, and went another 50 yards, and there it was. When I stopped, it took a few steps, and it stopped. Because it didn't know when I was going to stop. So it was a second, half a second. When I stop, it would stop. And like I said earlier, if it was a predator, it would be uphill from me. So I didn't let my imagination get away from me. And I got all the way up to here, just about 20 yards, 20, 25 yards where I'm sitting. And came on up here to the cabin. And I don't know what it was, what followed me up here. It could have been a bear. But the only thing I understand and think about is it had to be bigger than a raccoon, the way it sounded. The way my feet sounded coming up, and the ruffling it made, it had to be a little larger than a raccoon. But today I still don't know what it was. But I did not worry about it. I didn't lose sleep over it, because there are things that are unexplained and I just don't know. But I'm here at the campfire and just sharing a little story with you. A little story with my son and grandkids. And it did actually happen. But then again, I'm up here, I'm in the middle of nowhere, and things happen, and I don't have an answer for it. And I've been in this area for several years. The cabin built, and I have a lot of things that have happened here. I had things show up, like a tree limb in the middle of nowhere. There's no tree. A storm could have blown it in. I don't know. So, just a little story, and I'm glad you're with me. Go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to sit here and enjoy the campfire, the full moon, and glad you're with me. Come back again.